Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to another stream. Wow, no wonder my music sounded so loud. I usually run my audio at 50, and I don't like going any higher than that. No wonder. Let's see, let's switch over here so I can see you, and hopefully you can see the game. There it is. Hello, how are you guys today? I'm doing okay. I'm doing alright. The music we're listening to tonight is from Argofox. Oh man. Yep, it's from Argofox. And yeah. Let's switch over here to these tracks. I think this might be the same song, I'm not sure. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. You can use all of this to monetize stuff, and you know, I like them. I'm on their Spotify right now, Spotify, their SoundCloud, which is Argofox. Argo, Argofox. If you want any of their information, feel free to go down into the description where you should be able to find all of it. Alright, let me switch over here. Hey, Spammy, how are you tonight? Let's switch over to the game. Let's unmute the game so we can hear our classic intro to... There we go. Alright. Let's start. So what we are doing tonight is hopefully we're gonna A+ our final level. The last level we have left to A+. We've A+ everything else. At least, I don't know if you A+ Dark World. If you have to A+ those levels. But we're doing Cotton Alley, the first regular old world. I'm doing okay, Spammy. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm doing pretty okay. Let's see. So let's head all the way down. Let's travel. I always feel like I'm playing a Mario game when I do this. When I'm going through the worlds or the places, you know? Alright. For those of you unfamiliar, if you're watching the video of this after the live stream, what it means to be A+ing a level means that you're beating it under the time limit placed upon there by the developers and creators of this game. For example, this has a 45-second time limit. The first time I originally beat this level, I beat it in 73 seconds, so I have to shave my time by about 30. Last night, I got it down to, I think, 50. I think I was only a little bit off. But, yeah, and that's, I think, the only time I actually finished the level. This is by far the most difficult level for me. And the most difficult one in the game. Of just the regular worlds. Not including warp zones or anything like that. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And, whatever time you're watching the VOD. Let's see. I'm doing well. I have my mate next to me. I have, my... ice cold water on the other side of me, so I got my hot and cold going down. I don't know, I was in the mood for like a hot beverage, you know? And since I attempt to refrain from drinking coffee, like actual coffee, unless I absolutely need it. I didn't want to drink coffee. It's also like just not good for your throat. Not as good as just a regular old tea is, so... And my throat has been feeling a little rough. Little bit rough. A little rough. And I'm gonna have to be doing a lot of talking over the next few days. I have the beginning of a secret server. Minecraft server starting this Saturday. I have a game tomorrow. I have to teach tomorrow and Friday. Well, we'll see. Apparently there's a tropical storm coming in. I don't know. The last tropical storm I heard of started with a G. Apparently this one is Harvey. I think the last one was like Greta or something like that. But I woke up this morning to just like a whole bunch of messages on my tablet. Just, you know, warnings, weather alerts, being like, warning, tropical surge warning. Warning, tropical surge warning. Flash flood warning. Tornado warning. Tropical storm warning. Typhoon warning. And I'm like, and it like, I know I repeated myself, but that's because I got the same repeat message. And then I also got like a heat advisory warning, which, you know, accurate. But, yeah, apparently there's supposed to be some tropical storm. I mean, I looked at the map on, like, the weather map on the app, and, like, I didn't see anything in the Gulf. I didn't see anything in the Atlantic either. So, I don't know exactly where this tropical storm is coming from. Maybe I'll probably see it if I'm like on weather.com. But as of right now, I have no idea where this tropical storm is, or anything. No idea. I mean, it didn't rain today. At least I don't think it rained today. So, yeah, it's the Gulf Coast, exactly. So yeah, I just have like a whole bunch of warnings telling me that it's going to, there's going to be a tropical storm. And one of the local psychics or whatever, I don't know his name. I didn't know he existed until very recently. Oh, CPU, you're doing that thing again where you're being very annoying for no reason. Why? Is it because I'm running this video accidentally at 720p? Probably. Let's move it down to 144. Is that going to help me at all? Well, let's see if that helps at all. I'll also disable the preview over here. Hopefully that lowers some stuff. But yeah, I just woke up to a bunch of warnings, so we'll see. I don't know where the tropical storm is. Don't know how badly it's going to hit. Like I said, apparently the local dude or local psychic who correctly predicted a couple of the bad storms that hit in the past like 5 years says that it's, you know, going to be bad. But you know, he said the same exact thing about the last tropical storm that was supposed to hit us. And that wasn't a big deal. That it didn't even exist. You know, all those pictures from like Sandy, Hurricane Sandy or Tropical Storm Sandy, I don't know which one it was. Of like, oh man, look at my chair, my lawn chair, it's flipped over. That's pretty much exactly what it was, except it was just like, it didn't even rain. So it was just like, wow, look how flooded my street is. So there's a specific part of time that always sensationalizes the possibility of a hurricane. And I think it's just paranoia, because I think it was Hurricane Ike we didn't think was going to hit hard. It wasn't predicted to hit hard, and then it was just awful. The same thing with Tropical Storm Allison. So we're all just a little... That was in 2001, though. Hurricane Ike was in 2012, 11, 10, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10. Those sound like more accurate years. Did you see that? I was riding that. I was riding straight on that saw blade. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll let you know on Twitter if, you know, we're drowning or whatever. Here in Houston, good old Houston, Texas. And I'll let you know if we're going to be streaming those nights. As far as I can tell, I mean, everything seems pretty dandy. Nothing seems off. Like I said, I don't know where it is. So I can't be like, oh wow, that's big, I should be worried about that. Or wow, that doesn't even have anything close to a look that looks dangerous. Yeah, gun shy is a good word for it. They pulled the trigger very, very quickly. But like I said, it's not like totally unwarranted. It's just, you know, annoying. Because it was Katrina. I think Katrina also hit us pretty hard. And we all got very scared when Hurricane Rita came right after it. There was a lot of memes, before memes were a thing, that existed about those two hurricanes. Because I'm pretty sure Hurricane Katrina wasn't supposed to be like a hurricane. I think Rita was also supposed to be a tropical storm. So yeah. I mean, it's not terribly unwarranted, but I mean, what are you gonna do, you know? It's either gonna hit or it's not. It's the dangers of living near the coast. I wasted so much time there. I should be up here in like 25 seconds. But yeah, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen. I still haven't checked the weather app. And I checked my weather app, but I don't know how really good it is. I saw the other tropical storm that hit us earlier this season. But, you know. I don't even remember what that one's name was. They all sort of just blur together. They're all just, you know. It's just like a really big thunderstorm when a tropical storm hits. And it's not like a bad one. It's just like, I wonder how much rain is gonna hit. And I wonder if it's gonna stall over us. Those are pretty much the two things you have to think about when you hear a tropical storm is gonna come. Same thing with the hurricane, to be honest with you, except you have to worry about the wind. The wind is real killer. That fucks you up real bad, real quick. That's why you have to board your windows. God, how am I here even later? I feel like I did way better that run. I've also been falling asleep really, really late. I have a friend who was unable to game for about a month, and he's part of our late night gaming crew. And so he's finally was able to do some gaming with his friends. And you know, I'm part of those friends, and so I've been playing a lot with him into the wee hours of the morning with our squad. And it's it causes you not to get a lot of sleep, you know? Or to just have weird sleeping hours. And those affect your voice very, very much. Hurricanes vary. They are, they vary. Sometimes they're bad. I mean, it also depends on the category. But like, they're all different. Like, Tropical Storm Allison probably fucked us up the most, and that's just because it was a tropical storm that stalled over us. It was all rain. That's all it was. I don't think even a thunderstorm. I think it was just pure rain that happened, and it just stalled. It stalled right over us for like a few days, and so we were not equipped for that much rain here in the city. And so everywhere was flooded. Like, all those sensationalized pics of houses with water up to their roofs or being covered, like, was a very real thing that was happening in the greater Houston area. Like, for my own home, we live in an elevated home in the fact that we live in the middle of our neighborhood. So, our driveways sort of are like the ones in, what is it, San Francisco, that they're at like a real steep angle, to counteract the fact that, you know, we're in the middle of the neighborhood. And so we're best prepared for any floodwaters. Like, this area, our street is literally designed to not flood, and it still got like 3 feet into our house that year, or that storm. So it was not good. Like, we literally had to have a boat take us out of our homes, because it would not, like, it looked like it was gonna stop raining. It stopped like pouring, but there was nowhere for the water to go. Like, the water reservoirs, the things that collect water, the bayou and stuff like that, all just over flooded. You couldn't get in or out from a certain section of our area because it was just flooded over. And yeah, and that was just a tropical storm. I remember I fell asleep during Hurricane Ike. I slept straight through that one. It was apparent. I mean, I also can sleep literally through a hurricane. Like, apparently my dad, when he was putting up the planks of of wood over our windows, he missed once, and he hit the window, so there was just a big hole in our window thanks to the hammer. It's also when I learned that we have pretty nice windows. Pretty like nice durable windows. Because it was literally just a hole and a little bit of cracking around the hole. And that was it. It, you know, didn't shatter the window or anything. So I was like, wow. Either TV has been lying to me or our windows are pretty nice. But he still, you know, we didn't have time to fix it. It was the day the hurricane was going to hit that night. So he just put the plank over it and like duct taped the hole. And apparently during the night, you could hear the air howling through the hole. And apparently it also broke the window, and it was just flapping about on the inside during the hurricane. And my parents were apparently battling against this window that was now flapping about until the eye of the storm hit, and then they were able to, like, I don't remember what they did. I think they might have just straight up replaced the window. I don't remember actually. Or like not replaced, but like took off the window. I don't know. It was like a while ago. But it was a whole thing. Yeah, not a lot of room up there. No. Yeah, this is a rough one, man. This is hella rough. This is a rough level. I'm glad I've already beat it. But it's just rough to do the speed run of it. Because I'm so uncomfortable with those small little areas. They don't exist enough throughout the game for me to be comfortable with them. But, yeah. I think Katrina hit us pretty hard, but like, in my area, we've always been fortunate enough that it's just not awful. There was a tropical storm that flooded us over, but that's probably the worst damage done to us from a hurricane, which was a tropical storm. I mean, Ike, we had our power out for a while, for like half a week, I think. And like trees were down all over the place, power lines were down also. Like I said, our area wasn't hit too hard, which is pretty nice and very fortunate, mostly. So, I don't ever get terribly scared when I hear about hurricanes coming. Because once you decide where you're going to be, like if you're going to stay home, you're going to go out of town, like that's your decision. You've made the decision. All you can do now is just weather the storm, fairly literally, you know? Hopefully you're prepared, you have enough batteries, you have enough food, you have a generator maybe, and gas for that generator if that's what you're doing. You have a source of like you prepared your food in time, so it's not all gonna spoil. Like that's pretty much all you can do. If it starts flooding, hopefully you've already prepared and you've put everything up on stilts. Yeah, I'm not terribly afraid. There's, you know, they're scary, but once you've made your decision, there's not much you can do. Like, I don't live too terribly close to the coast. I'm like a solid hour, I think, away from the coast. So, there's no real danger of like of the surge hitting us. And we're pretty flat, I mean, you know. These are, I think I like this Argofox a lot more. I think if everything goes well, I mean, I haven't gotten a copyright strike yet. Usually YouTube is fairly quick on it. But, I think I'm gonna start using them from now on. I really like them. If we do finish Super Meat Boy tonight, at least A+ing them, I'm going to move on over to, probably some FTL. Maybe a little bit of FTL. If I don't do it a day, for sure tomorrow will be an FTL day. Yep. I'm still on the lookout for like a heavy blues rock free music, non-copyright, not free music, non-copyrighted music, or like a cheap license for their music, because that's like currently that's a genre I want to be looking more into, because I found myself like really enjoying some of those songs, and I think I would really enjoy them. You know, it started off with that commercial for The Last of Us 2. That commercial, the teaser trailer for The Last of Us 2 at, was it E3 that they did it? With Sean James's what is it called? Through the Valley, or Through the Shadow. But you know, obviously Ellie sang it in the teaser trailer. But like the legitimate song, also really nice. I blinked there and I thought I might die there. Ah, no. If I don't make it there, I'm not making it at all. So that's sort of like the music I'm out looking for. And then, you know, I started watching Winona Earp, which I know I talk about all the time. Don't worry, guys. It's ending this week. The season 2 ends this week, so... you'll probably only hear about Winona Earp for like the next month, and then... and then it'll be the new flavor. Well, I mean, I'm still gonna be, like, super obsessed with the show, but, like... I'm not gonna have any new content. I'm gonna read the comic books, though, but I'm saving that for the middle of the hiatus rather than... Shit. Oh, rather than reading them right away. Though I'm dying to read them. And they're all available digitally. I would love to see if my local comic book shop has them. But god, our local comic book shop, A, we don't have that many. And B, it is so annoying to get into it. It's like right on the side of the freeway. And it has like the worst entrance possible. And it's just like, it's not a fun place to go into or exit. It's like a very annoying place to get in and out of. I wish it were in a better location. We used to have a comic book shop here, close to where I lived. Don't know what happened to it though. It might still exist. I just haven't seen it. Okay. The truth is that there was a rumor that somebody I used to see worked there, and that was just an interaction I wasn't really that jazzed to you know, I wasn't too jazzed for a reunion, you know? Shit. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have stopped there. Go, 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 motherfucker! Yes! 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 Ha ha ha! Ha! Oh my god, that felt real good. That felt really good. 2 seconds to spare too. Woohoo! Do you guys like my my cup? I don't know if it's I'll hold it here, hoping it focuses. My mom got it for me. I think it's like a graduation present. Or like no, it was her Christmas present. I thought that little me stopping there to reset there was gonna be the death of me. Oh man, I felt really good about that. I felt really, really good about that. Man, you guys do know. It's a lot of you have been here. This stupid level took me 3 hours to beat. I think it took me like 5 hours to beat. 3 to 5 hours to beat. And then I was on it pretty much all of yesterday. I was on it pretty much all of yesterday. I A plus the other like 5 levels I had left on this world. But then like, I think for like an hour and a half I was here. And now we finished and I knew it. I knew I had about like 30 more minutes on this level before I finished it. Whoo hoo woo! Alright, yep, cat lovers. Oh man, there we go. Oh, look at all those shiny. I still have to go and try and get the techno band-aid girl levels on all of these, but let's look at them all over again. Let's look at all these shinies. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at those beautiful A pluses, man. Whoo hoo woo. Come on. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that sheen. Pew, pew. Oh god. That's so many hours, so much work to do this, but we got it, guys. This is also me just making sure I've done them all. Because tonight I don't want to do anything else on Super Meat Boy. I'm not interested in finding, I'm not prepared to find warp zones. I don't really want to start on Dark World. I feel like that's something a lot of people want to watch. So I'll do that at a more ideal hour. These are the things I need to get. I need to get these weird worlds. Are these all done? Yeah. I think I only have them for like the first 2 worlds. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful sheen. Whoo hoo! And last but not least, the forest. Oh yeah. Oh man. So I have the first 3 worlds. So I have the forest, the hospital, and the salt factor. I just need to find one in hell, Rapture, and I think the end and Cotton Alley. The other like 4 worlds. Oh man. Okay. So that's all I want to do on Super Meat Boy tonight. So let's go over here. Let's switch over here to my face. Hi, hello. And let's open up a different game. Let's see. I sort of want to do I sort of want to play through Cupid again. I think I'm ready to play through Cupid again. But, I mean, it's only spammy. Let's change the let's change everything over here. Let's see. This is gonna be Cupid, the love story. I'm gonna be a little bit sad not to have our music anymore. Right when I find a music producer that I'm like pretty happy with. Let's see. Casual Cupid. Here we go. Let's change thumbnail. Let's go over here. Let's see. Let's do Casual Cupid right there. Casual chill. Casual PB stream. Oh my god, please stop. Casual Cupid. Cupid. A visual. Oh, that's not you. A visual novel. It's really weird having something in the periphery of your eye. Alright, let's clean this up. Boop. Follow me on Twitter. That's a reference none of you are gonna get. Let's see. I totally am. I'm gonna be using it for my Super Meat Boy streams from now on. Let's see. Let's go over here. It'll load eventually. you don't know anything about music services. You have your entire library on the tablet. Use that. I used to have everything on... My music used to be purely on iTunes for my iPod. That is purely where all my music used to be. And in iTunes and on the computer. Now I have them backed up somewhere. I've had enough computers and hard drives break that I've learned my lesson, you know? Let's see. How big is my face? It's a pretty significant size. My hair is a little bit wild. It's fine. I wasn't able to take a shower right before the stream, so I'm gonna wait until afterwards. Which is fine, because I'm drinking a hot drink, and it's hot outside. Alright. Use that music. It's just hard, because, it's hard finding music when you stream or you make a video. Because if it's copyrighted, you'll have issues. After the fact. I have plenty of CDs also, but you can't put those on the computer, so I've had to like re-download them from different services to get them. Like I have my Demon Days Gorilla CD, and it won't let me transfer the tracks onto my computer, but it will. But I could get them off of the special edition that they released in like 2011. And I remember I bought it. I was so excited to buy it, and my friend was just like, why are you wasting money on that? Like, why would you waste 25 bucks on this CD? And I'm like, first of all, how dare? Second of all, how dare? I'm just like, Gorillaz are a fucking classic. Just because you listen to this weird ass indie Russian music because you think you're edgy, it doesn't mean that we all need that to make ourselves feel better about life. You know, I was just being real. I didn't say that to her, but that was absolutely what I was thinking. I did say it, but we were flute players, you see, and when you're a flute player, you have to get along with them. And we were in the same major. We were the only people in our major in our grade. So at the time, so you have to. It's called cattiness. It's what it is, but you just have to be like real petty about it. You say it like in like Real Housewives-esque, where you say it. But you say it with like a smile, or in like in so many words, you know, you insinuate a lot of things. You insinuate a lot of things that way. Let's see, we're gonna do this again. Casual PB stream. Cupid. Visual novel. And that's because you just have to sit so close to each other and have to interact with each other all the time. Live now. Otherwise, we'd probably be as pissy and angry as every other section. Live now. Alright. There we go. Alright, are we feeling good? We're feeling good, we're feeling good. So, I've played through Cupid, a visual novel, twice now. And the first time I recorded it, and it's going up slowly onto this channel. I have the first, like, 7 episodes out, and the other ones just haven't been edited or rendered or, you know, uploaded yet. And, this one I played on stream the other time. And I did an evil run through that time, right? So this run through is going to be the nice run through where I try and do everything the nicest way possible. All right, so a few warnings about this game. You know, not anything right now, but it is a fairly darker, it's a dark theme. Dark themes are explored throughout here. Nothing graphic happens yet. There is a section that will get a little bit graphic, but that's not for like another 2 hours into this game. So here we go. This game has alternate endings. The first run I did a mixture of good and bad, with more good than bad, or more nice than mean. The second run I did on stream was all mean, which I was super excited to do because I never play a mean run through. I just don't have it in me, usually. I'm too nice of a person, or at least I try to be. And this time I want to do a full nice run through because I want to see what this alternate ending is. I think there's 5 in total, 4, 5 in total, and so far I've gotten 2. And there's 1 chapter left I think there's 1 more chapter that I haven't explored yet. It changes some dialogue options, not so much in the beginning of the game, but for sure when we're reaching like consequence levels in this game. So there's a few choices, but it is a visual novel. So here we go. Actually, let me drink. I'm going to be talking a lot. All right. Are my audio levels good? Can you guys hear what's happening in the game? I'll raise it up to there. I mean, it's all just ambient noise anyways. Let's make sure this is all the way up. Coolly cool. Okay, so I can't remember who says this. I'm gonna pretend this is Mother. Okay. I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. I need to lower this. Here we go. A mother loves her daughter more than anything else in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gouging a hole into your leg. All because you smiled at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it. You freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? You never listen. Serves you right for being the little slut you are. But you don't have to worry, my darling. It's all right. Even if the whole world wishes you dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side. My goodness, child! Whatever has happened to you? Oh no, hold up. Oh shit. I missed it. What did it? Oh no, go back one. A girl was slumped in the doorway, soaked by the rain. Her legs were covered in dirt and blood. She lifted her head upon hearing the priest's voice and stared at him with blank eyes. What's her voice again? But bless me, Father, for I have sinned. She hobbled forwards, her bloodied leg giving way. Automatically, the priest rushed forward to steady her. Years of spiritual training had prepared him for the most unexpected guest to his church. I have to readjust this. Give me a second. Alright, there we go, and hopefully I clipped a little bit less now. The only one, yeah, it is things creepers say. We're only getting started, to be honest with you. This is not even the creepiest part of this game. Hello there, Mr. Helicopter. I'll wait. No, you take your time. You take your time. I'll wait. Let me move this up here so I'm closer to looking at the camera and I can see my peak levels. Sweet. Oh, fuck. Every time. He sprung into action. He ushered her to a pew, brought out some clean cloth and an antiseptic, and began to bandage the wound on her leg. Yet, throughout all this, he found that he couldn't take his eyes off her. He would be gazing at the roll of bandages in his hand, deciding how to tie them. And then, out of nowhere, he would be staring into her eyes. Even with all the mud and grime smeared across her face, he couldn't deny that she was absolutely beautiful. How old was she? 20? 18? 16? Her face was so young. The priest had long since aged past his desires for the opposite sex, but somehow something about her enraptured him. When he realized his own thoughts, he quickly steered his mind towards other matters. My child, what happened to you? She seemed to take all the time in the world before responding. He looked at me. Looked? He looked at me and touched me. And then he started to kiss me. At first, the priest didn't understand. Then he realized with a jolt of anger what she meant. It was happening more and more often nowadays. The young men of France these days were spirited, uncontrollable ruffians. A lady walking home by herself one night would be prey to a few number of them. Lust. One of the 7 deadly sins. The one the priest personally despised the most. Furrowing his brow in sorrow, the priest laid a hand on her thigh. You are safe now, child. God's house is a sanctuary for the faithful. I don't think he'll protect me. He looked at her in confusion. You see, Father, I have sinned again. Right there among the pews before the altar of God, she bowed her head. I'm sorry. Was she apologizing to him or to someone else? Her hair hid her face and her eyes, and the priest could make neither head nor tail of her. He suddenly realized that his hand was still on her thigh, and he hurriedly drew it away. I'm sorry. She repeated this phrase over and over. After a while, the priest got up. Don't fret, child. You are not to blame. I will contact the local constable, but in the meantime, you are free to make yourself at home here. I will fetch you a hot drink. He patted her hand and left to go to the back room. She remained seated on the pew, her head bent forward. As the priest's footsteps faded away, the entire church fell into silence. Now that it was the dead of night, the clouds covered the sky. Barely a sliver of moonlight filtered through the stained glass. The girl sat alone in the ring of darkness. She opened her mouth. No, I know. If I may say my piece, surely... Yes, yes, mother. But he is so very kind. I fear for your safety. Child, follow mother's words and leave. You saw the look in his eyes, didn't you? You cannot stay here. Even the man of God can stain you with the filthiest colors. Be a good girl and follow mother's words. But it's so cold outside, mother. The rain has not let up. Can't I stay? Ooh. Or, I guess... Okay, all nice choices. Not nice choices in the roleplay sense of it, because, you know, I fear for your safety. No, we're going with just... I've never stayed. I don't know what this means. I'm so nervous to click on this option. I suppose you can. But you must be wary of everyone in this church. Do you understand? You are so weak, my darling. You give my heart so much pain. I'm sorry, Mother. I will try my best to stay out of trouble. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. My stupid little girl. Always a blight, aren't you? Whatever will you do without me? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Spammy. I'm sorry, Mother. Thank you. Thank you for always guiding me. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. Mother was right. After all, she was always right. Everything was her fault. Her fist shook with a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There is something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was the altar, and on top of the altar was an ornately decorated was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her head, and the tip of the cross had been crafted such that it was razor sharp. Which, you know, I've said that every single time I play this, but that's like such a weird thing. Like, who does that? Like, who's just like, aha, let me make this beautiful cross to signify, you know, the cross where Jesus of Nazareth was hung, where we learned that he died for our sins. I'm going to make it so beautiful and ornate, but I'm also going to make it deadly sharp. Like, that's such a weird choice to make for that. Both in this game and I'm assuming in real life. She left the pew, knelt briefly, and then walked over to the altar. Yeah, right? I mean, it is like in the, I feel like it's in the 1800s, early 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s. I feel is like when this takes place. There we go. I don't know if that's when it takes place at this very second, but at least in the long run. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arms trembled ever so slightly. What other way is there for me to atone? She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter. Mother is proud of you. Slowly, she brought the sharp end close to her face. So close that it hovered just above her left eye. And then, she... Chapter 1. The Star and the Rose. Tone change! A scruffy young girl in tattered clothes peeked through the open gates of the Chateau de Sommet. An afternoon Gautier. I BS my way through all of these French words. I looked it up last stream, but I'm like over that now. An afternoon Gautier was being held in its gardens. People from the high-class estates strolled around the manicured gardens while chatting loudly with one another while a helicopter flew in the distance. And it's gone. There were beautiful ladies clad in silk and velvet, their necks adorned with pearls and jewels. A variety of foods were displayed on the tables. The girl stared at the food. She hadn't eaten properly for the past few days. Are you hungry, my dear? Yes, Mother. Don't you worry. Mother will provide. You don't need those high-class foods anyway. They will upset your stomach. There we go. I tried to make that as quiet as possible, but I need to bring this a little bit closer to my face. Now, we've stayed long enough. Let us leave. Surely we can look around for a bit. It's still a little early. There was something else that called to her other than the party itself. She walked to and fro from the gates, peeking at the crowd despite the urgings of her mother to leave. Just a tiny glance would be enough. The girl smiled at the thought of him. The owner of the chateau. The Marquis de Gaulle. The girl was drawn to him. He wasn't the same as other people. He seemed different somehow. He was kind to her and would always hand her food when she delivered flowers. Her heart felt at ease with him. Ooh, which one is nicer out of these two? He is the same as everyone. I do not care for him. I guess we'll do he is the same as everyone. He is the He's the same as everyone. Greedy. Insatiable. Maybe not for you, but for something else. But he is a kind man, Mother. Don't let his kindness fool you. Sweetest tongue hides the sharpest tooth, child. She bit her lip. Why do you even bother with him? He makes me feel that there are still good people in the world, Mother. Yeah, I think this one's nicer. It is hard to say, of course, dear. We do not know the real intentions people have. One can hope the real charity exists. I've never chosen this option either, so this is so new for me. One can hope that real charity exists. But even good people will always put their needs first. Even your precious Marquis. Don't you think I'm a good person, Mother? Of course, child. You're special. Haven't I raised you as such? I have tried my best, my dearest. Yes, Mother. You keep me right. I love you. The girl stared at her shoes and looked around for a bit, hoping for just a glance before she left. And there he was. There was no harm in looking, she reasoned. She would never enter the Marquis's world. Let her heart be filled with hope. He turned his eyes in her direction. Did he smile at her? The girl's heart stopped. Did he recognize her? She beamed. Oh boy, here we go. I need to take a drink of water here. My, is this creature deaf as well as dumb? It might be, poor thing. Mademoiselle! A voice called to the rose girl. She gasped. It seemed that somebody else had noticed her presence. She turned to leave. No, no, my dear. Poor little creature, don't run away. Charlotte, she stinks. Don't touch her. She came to crash the party, little urchin. You hungry? Her stomach gave a low grumble. She was always hungry, it seemed, no matter how much or how little she ate. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I've never seen that line before. I've never thought about that line in this way before. Encouraged by the kindness the Marquis had shown her, the girl approached the women. She teetered toward their table. What are you selling? Look at this poor creature. Is she... Oh, no. Ugh. Look at this poor creature. Is she selling roses? These are all ugly ones. But not as appalling as the rag she is covering herself in. Are you trying your best to be this repulsive? Now, don't be mean, Antoinette. Perhaps it's the common of fashion nowadays. They laugh while gawking at her and her wares. Oh my, she only has one eye. Ghastly, but I can't look away. The other lady nodded her head. Like a sideshow's attraction, you mean? The freaks at the carnivals. She's darling in her own dirty, monstrous way. Maybe we can keep it. Hello, do you want some bread, urchin? Well, speak up. Maybe her tongue is short. Add that to the list of her sterling qualities. Quiet, Antoinette. Come on, don't be shy. Do you want some food? Let us hear you speak. Yes, madame. What? Yes, madame. I would be grateful. One of the ladies clapped in mockery at her reply. Oh, she talks. The ladies handed her the bread, but it was snatched away just before her fingers grazed it. Not before you dance for us first. Oh, make it do a handstand. I've seen one of those street people do that. Quite marvelous. Now, I'd like to see that. This party is getting quite boring. Well, come on, ma bête. Dance for your food. The girl looked at the beautiful, cruel faces of the women. That look on them. It was a burning desire to hurt something simply because they could. She knew that look. Before they touched her and hurt her, they had that look burning in their eyes. Oh, look at what you did, Claudette. She's shivering like a leaf, poor thing. The lady was laughing as she said those words. I didn't do anything. She should be grateful we're even offering her this much. Besides, these commoners are supposed to be jolly in their misery. Come on, girl, show us your joy. The girl moved away as they laughed. Mother, please save me. Mother? Ooh. Should we insult her naivety? Would that be nicer and less cruel than saying, didn't I tell you to leave? I think maybe didn't I tell you to leave is a little bit nicer than mocking her beliefs. Yeah, because one is attacking her as a person and the other one is attacking just a poor decision she made, right? That would be the nicer one. I think that would be the nicer one. I didn't out of drink. Didn't I tell you to leave, insolent child? Now you call for me. Try to deal with this situation yourself. You have put yourself in this position anyway. I hope you learn your lesson. Hey there! A child's voice called out from behind her. It belonged to a girl around 7 with chubby cheeks and a look of curiosity in her eyes. She wore an old blue dress, somewhat patched in the corners, but kept clean and tidy. She was not rich, but she had an air as if she owned the ground she stood on. Another commoner? This party is absolutely teeming with them. The Marquis loves these things. Ooh. Internet? Are you gonna calm down? Are you gonna chill out there, Internet? Are we good? Are we good? We drop 190 frames. Are we back? I think we're back. Yeah, I think it's stabilized. The Marquis loves these things. Heard he picks them up randomly from the streets. Let's see, I need to lower this a little bit. Ba 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 ba. There we go. I shouldn't clip now. Heard he picks them randomly from the streets. Maybe I should get me one too. Do you think it is fashionable abroad in his birth country, I mean? Persia. No, I heard he was from India. I heard a rumor he's a bastard son of a Greek queen. Goodness, that is so far-fetched. I could barely pronounce his name, though. He really should change it to something more acceptable. Who knows what kind of demons he might attract with such a blasphemous name? Aha! It must be why all these nasty, horrid little creatures flock around him. Oh! Devil or not, I'll forgive him if he kisses my hand. Ooh, that one a little southern. I'll forgive him if he kisses my hand. The ladies laughed. Salope, aren't you shameless? Don't lie, we all know why we're here. The ladies gossiped among themselves, openly ignoring the girl. The young girl took the slighting with a shrug. She approached the table and asserted her presence. What you doing? Goodness, they don't take a hint, do they? Throw something shiny, it might distract them. Hey, you've been holding that bread for a long time. Aren't you going to give it to her? She pointed at the shabby rose vendor. Why do you care? Do you want the bread yourself? Oh, I bet she's hungry too. Oh, I know. Maybe you should toss the bread and see if they'll fight for it. The ladies laughed to themselves. The girl stared at them with confusion. Her brows furrowed in a childlike understanding. Next thing everyone knew, she had swiped the bread from the woman's hand. Oh my! How rude! Horrible, filthy girl, give that back! The girl sniffed a piece of bread and nibbled at the surface. Yummy. It's still warm. She shoved the bread in the urchin's face. The scrumptious scent of the bread flooded the rose girl's nose. Lick it. The sugared butter tastes so good. No, you devil child. Give that back. The urchin licked it. Her tongue was coated in sweetness. She stood there, squeezing the last taste in her tongue. The girl grinned at her, and she couldn't help but grin back. Sorry. Here you go. It's all yours. Oh, disgusting. Like we're going to eat anything that's been in your filthy mouths. Wow, so this is ours now? You ladies are so nice. Cheeky little brat. I'll have you thrown out of this party. I'll have you. A young man strode to the commotion. A sweet scent lingered as he passed. The rose girl felt her mouth well up. His presence filled her body, almost as if the hunger was abated. She blushed furiously. What a strange effect he had. Ooh. Ladies. Oh, Sayagiem. I just came to check in on my esteemed guests. Is everything all right? Are you enjoying yourselves? One of the ladies started fanning herself with obvious annoyance. Well, these little beasts have been harassing us. Yes, my lord. We were just minding our own business when this little girl swiped the food off our table. Horrible little nits. The girl stuck out her tongue at them. A lady wiped her eyes and mock tears. See, look at that. It's absolutely monstrous how these children act around adults now. There's no respect, monsieur. I worry for the next generation. My CPU is so high. Why are you so high? Let's do that. Are you better now? You're a little bit better now. Okay. Alright. Well, my lord, we would all breathe a little easier if those children were sent on their way. Yes, who knows what kind of mischief they might be. Yes, who knows what kind of mischief they might be up to. They might set fire to the tables, you see. Oh. Or steal our jewelry. In fact, I think my pocket watch is missing. No, how unfortunate. One of the ladies continued in her childish wailing. It is, monsieur. It is unfortunate how you allow your important guests to be treated this way. Please deal with these vermin. Throw them out, now. Oh, my sweet ladies, I am stricken with the grief at your misfortunes. Allow me to offer my heartfelt apologies. Unfortunately, this child is my important guest today, and you are, sad to say, paltry squatters. Excuse me, Madame Charlotte de Montpellier. I don't remember sending you an invite. Same for you, Lady Antoinette of Rennes and Lady Claudette of Lyon. Most people I invite are huge patrons of music. That is why they are here today. They came to listen to Mademoiselle Catherine Louis Perrine. She is a 7-year-old piano prodigy who played for the Queen last summer. The man pointed at the girl busy chewing her half of the bread. The Rose Girl just stared at the unfolding situation. Well, that's... I'm sure you were aware of that, were you not? No matter. I'm always happy to see you, ladies. It is my pleasure to have you here. But I hope you don't mind giving some of the food away to my townspeople. That is why I keep my gates open. My servers are instructed to serve anyone who passes by, not just my guests. But don't you fret, my darlings. There is plenty more to be served. The ladies blushed in embarrassment. One of them began to fan herself even faster. Excuse me. The Marquis walked up to the two girls. The Rose Girl's heart beat so... beat so bad... I feel like that's not the word to use there. The Rose Girl's heart beat so fast, it made her head feel light and dizzy. She had never been this close to him. It made her feel a mixture of fear and elation. Lady Catherine, your father has been looking for you. It is almost time for your performance. The girl looked up at the Marquis and did a little curtsy. My apologies, sire. I didn't mean to cause a clatter. Guillaume chuckled. I saw the whole thing, ma chérie. You put those ladies in their place. They were being mean to her. Guillaume narrowed his eyes at the quiet girl. She hid behind her basket of roses. She couldn't look at him directly. He was like the sun. It hurt just to be in his presence. Yet, there was relief in her heart as he Excuse me, wow, that was all very sudden for me and for you. Hiccup, man. Whew. There we go. There we go. We should be over. Whew. Yet, there was relief in her heart as he stepped closer to her. I've seen you before, haven't I? The Rose Girl nodded and made a curtsy. I deliver roses to your house sometimes, sire. Yes. The girl with the sweetest face. The Rose Girl blushed. I love your roses, by the way. They stay fresh longer than they should. You've tended to them. You've tended to them with love. Thank you, sire. Do you have a name, young lady? What's the matter? It's all right, young lady. If you would rather... Let's call her Rosa. Rosa, it fits. I think she forgot her name, or she lost it. The Marquis nodded wisely. A valid point. Are you all right with that, Rosa? Yes. Come on, Rosa. You'll watch me play, right? Her eyes darted from the girl to the Marquis. Oh, Sir Gilly doesn't mind. Gilly? He's really nice to me and my family. And he helps the people around town, too. He won't throw you out. The Marquis held his right hand in the air as if swearing an oath. I won't. See? Come on. You're invited now. You're my special guest. There's plenty of food inside, too, Rosa. Please, help yourself. Thank you, sire. Rosa's coming! Yay! Now, this is my first public performance, Rosa. I'm a bit nervous. Catherine scratched her head. What will I do if I make a mistake? Papa will be very upset. The Marquis knelt in front of Catherine and rubbed her shoulders fondly. You won't make a mistake, ma chérie. As long as you put your heart into the keys, play to touch your audience, and any mistakes won't matter. Do you understand? Catherine stared at the Marquis. Not really. The man chuckled. You will someday. Just play your first song with me in mind, will you? Something that you think will make me smile. Guillaume held Catherine's clear young eyes in his gaze. He kissed her hand. It was covered with sticky sugar and breadcrumbs. Catherine blushed. It was the first time she looked embarrassed by anything. It would be my pleasure, sir. Catherine trudged up the wooden podium. Catherine trudged up to... Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Catherine trudged up the wooden podium and walked towards the middle of the stage. The crowd's chatter died down. She curtsied in front of her audience, waved to her father, and stole a glance at Guillaume. The man gave her a tiny nod. She sat down in front of the piano, admiring the cream and ebony keys underneath her fingers. Her own piano was broken and beaten. Her father had sold his horse for it. The A3 key never played, and the strings would creak when it was cold. Oh yeah, this is 100% French. I'm pretty sure it was originally in French, and then it was translated into English. I'm not 100% though. But it had never failed her. She knew the keys like they were her own fingers. She whispered to the new piano softly, as if coaxing a beautiful untamed animal. Let's be friends, okay? She saw Rosa at the far end of the podium, watching her diligently. There was a renewed vigor in her blood. She could hear the keys calling out to her. A song that would make him smile. She placed her fingers on the keys. She began to play. At the ring of the first few notes, it became apparent to the audience that this girl was something special. Here was a little girl, barely tall enough to reach the pedals of the piano, playing as if she owned it. There were times she'd miss a note or two, but that didn't matter. She played the song to make someone smile, and it touched everyone present. Her musical skill was far beyond her years. Her fingers caressed the keys as if she was making a flower crown, carefully weaving the petals. She knew the correct way to tie the leaves so they wouldn't tear like all smart little girls did. As the piano sang under her hands, Catherine seemed to disappear right in front of the audience's eyes. She was a vision, after all, somebody leading them down a dream. A dream of a garden, the springtime, the shade of a tree on a windy day. The couples in the audience tightened their grips on the hands of their partners. Some closed their eyes and let the music saturate their soul. Sweet memories of youth, a first love, the yawn of a newborn. Rosa's eyes shone as she stared at Catherine. Her heart was captured by this image of her, a young girl swaying her head to the music, smiling as the notes poured out of her. She couldn't take her eye away from Catherine's glowing face. Was this happiness? Was this love? She looked like she was in love. And she was, wasn't she? In her innocence, she was still in love with life. In love with her family, with her pets, in love with every new discovery, including that damn helicopter going once again overhead. There we go. She was full of hope. It was a bittersweet feeling for Rosa. A happy teardrop rolled down her cheek. She wanted to warm herself in that hope, if she could. In the audience, Guillaume and Catherine's father sat beside each other. Sire Perrine, your daughter is amazing. She is, isn't she? I mean, pardon my arrogance, my liege. I am a very proud father, you see. No pardon necessary, sire. Has she found a sponsor yet? The Duke of Versailles once spoke to me about it, but we have not made any arrangements. Then I must steal her away as soon as possible. Sire, I'd like to be Catherine's primary sponsor, if that is all right with you. Boop, boop. Why, sire! True that, Spammy. And to further cement my status, that piano she is playing right now, it is hers. I have bought it for her. Francois's eyes widened in astonishment. That is... Francois gulped. That is beyond generous, sire. Guillaume smiled. Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. Are we back? I dropped a few more frames there. I think we're back. Yep, we're back. I'll go back. I'll go back and say that last one. Back. That is beyond generous, sire. Guillaume smiled. Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. I took the opportunity of asking you outright. You see, the Duke might offer an extravagant piano plated in gold. In that case, I have no choice but to humbly concede. What? I'm kidding. The Duke of Versailles is the worst miser you will ever meet. The men chuckled. Of course, I shall be paying for her musical tutoring as required, along with an ample stipend to accommodate your family. Ah, you don't have to look so surprised, Monsieur Perrine. Your daughter is a star. Your daughter is a star! Your daughter is a star. There is an effervescence about her that enraptures the soul. There is no doubt in my mind that she will succeed. Thank you deeply, my liege. Please, call me by my name, monsieur. Let me remind you, this generosity isn't without charge. Her tutoring will be done at my house. I want to monitor her progress. Apart from that, I'd very much like Catherine to visit me and play from time to time. Music is one of my true passions. Her presence would benefit my moon tenfold. Of course, sire. That is a small price to pay for all your offers. On the contrary, monsieur, you don't have to decide now. Kindly think about it. Thank you, my lord, Sire Guillaume. After the performance, Catherine and Rosa went to the Marquis's garden to play. Francois and Guillaume lingered on the table, sorting out the details of Catherine's future education. Emilie Perrine wandered about the crowd, searching for a familiar face. She had arrived halfway through Catherine's performance, just in time to gush at her little sister's applause. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her father in the crowd. When she finally caught sight of the back of his head, she approached him hastily. Father, there you are! I've been looking all over for you. Emilie stopped as she saw the man her father was talking to. It was none other but the Marquis himself. She fixed her hair self-consciously and curtsied. My lord, pardon my intrusion, I didn't realize. Guillaume smiled at her kindly. You are free to intrude any time, my lady. Emilie smiled back, just as the rumor said. The Marquis was easy on the eyes. To whom do I owe the pleasure of your acquaintance? This is my eldest daughter, Emilie. Nope, that was awful. This is my eldest daughter, Emilie. Pardon me for not introducing her sooner. Charmed. Guillaume offered her a seat. Emilie sat down from across the man. Well, it seems talent and good looks run in. I always think this part is funny. Well, it seems the talent and good looks run in the family. Francois rubbed his neck. Yes, my daughters are my pride and joy. Thankfully, they both took after their mother. Surely not, Monsieur Parade. Surely not, Monsieur Parade. The eyes are yours. Earnest and loving eyes. Emily snorted at the sappy words. Her father was clearly basking in the compliments. If this really was the famous Guillaume that rumors talked about, then he wasn't exactly much of a charmer, was he? She didn't know what all the fuss was about. The ladies in the house she worked for could not seem to stop talking about this man. Admittedly, there was something morbidly curious about the way he looked at people. Like he was always distracted and could only say words that were expected of him. I'm pleased to have finally met you, sire. I've heard a lot about you on my travels. All good things, I hope. Depends on the tabloid and the day of week, Emily thought to herself and chuckled. You are a governess, I was told. Where do you work? With the Dimitri household, sire. Ah, yes. I heard you were marrying into the family soon. Oh, father, I told you not to tell anybody yet. I didn't, but you know how people talk. Word travels fast. Pardon the comment then, my lady. Please, please. Your betrothed is a lucky man, I'm sure. Sure. The conversation endured through the afternoon. There's a lot of ice in that cup, but not a lot of water. Small talk, musical composers, their little town, Catherine's musical background, Francois' students, Emily's work. Emily played with her napkin, offering droll opinions on the particularly droll topics. All throughout the exchange, Emily observed the infamous Marquis de Gaulle. This was him? The audacious, shameless flirt of a royal court and tabloids? According to the rumors, he was able to bed both the widow Countess of Devonshire and her daughter at the same time, and even had a tumultuous relationship with the Prince of Garnet. He didn't limit himself to royalty, or so the tabloids said. His latest fling was with an English poet, who they said almost killed him when he caught him with another man. I think you should just go Southern Belle. There was still the French influence, but the accent might be more natural. Yep, it is difficult for me to do any sort of accent. They're all very unnatural to me. Even the Southern one. I don't have a Southern accent. I never have had. So, these are all... Hashtag I'm trying. Let's see. Oh, a woman. At this point, who knew what was a real and... No, there was no A there. The house distracted me. The whole white on white is a real issue here. At this point, who knew what was real and what was a blatant lie made up by the newspapers? She had looked forward to meeting him. And here he was, finally, talking about sampling the new bakery creme brulee. She couldn't say she was disappointed exactly, but the Marquis was a surprisingly normal man. Maybe even boring, Emily ventured. She watched as his gaze flickered across her hair and her nose before lazily trailing away. How infuriating. I appreciate it. She wondered if he would suddenly say something coy, or insist to dance with her. Just something outrageous. Honestly, so she could shoot him down. This man whom everyone was interested in. That would be a small victory for a reasonable woman That would be a small victory for reasonable women everywhere. But the Marquis was nothing but polite. He did not ogle. He did not touch unnecessarily. No audacious gestures or suggestive winks of the eye. He would not even look at her for more than 2 seconds. Maybe she was not pretty enough to flirt with? Emily bit her lip. She shouldn't be thinking that, but there were also times when he would quietly look into her eyes when the conversation lulled. When the words spoken were without meaning, the eyes would converse further. To Emily, he'd started to look lonely underneath the facade of caprice. He seemed tired of all the gallivanting, the rumors and the numerous flings. We're all a little lonely, aren't we? We're all a little lonely, aren't we? Perhaps even he. He invited the family over to his chateau and commented on how empty the building felt sometimes. Music was his guilty pleasure. It got him through the cold nights, he said with a sad grin. How he wouldn't mind the warm soul to touch. And before she could stop herself, Emily had begun to imagine his lips on her neck, on one of those cold nights. Emily shook her head, trying to erase the thoughts in her mind. They were having a perfectly mundane conversation. She didn't know where those thoughts came from. Fortunately, her father didn't even notice. Music and loneliness struck a nerve with Francois Perrin. He had immersed himself in his music tutoring, his students, and Catherine, ever since his wife had gotten sick. It had been 6 years. But sometimes the nights were cold. For Francois, the Marquis was speaking to his soul. He was a kindred spirit. He wasn't a pompous showboat like the other royalty Catherine had played for. The Marquis even had a wine collection he wanted to show Francois. Such a down-to-earth, generous young man. Emily, your face is flushed. Are you all right? I'm fine, just the sun, probably. This was not true, of course. The afternoon sun had already lost most of its heat. Thankfully, Catherine provided a distraction. She ran towards a little huddle and flung her arms around her father's torso, chattering happily about gardens and butterflies. A young, ragged girl followed behind her. Emily wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. Just could see a faint trace of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. "Hello there, young lady." The girl looked down at her toes, but gave her a shy smile. "I see you've made a crown of flowers. You look very pretty." Thank you, madame." Catherine gave it to me. "Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the name of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's garden." "Catherine, there you go again with your silly names." Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us." "Catherine." "Papa, please let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go." "Now, Catherine, this is not very nice. Rosa here is a girl. She is not a kitten you can just pluck from the streets and take home, like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows we have all the stray cats of France living in our house." "Yes, I know she's not a kitten. I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home even more so?" Francois sighed. Guillaume chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange. "Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Perrin." "Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think?" "Huh?" Guillaume's face lost his casual bystander look. "You're a Marquis. I'm sure my father would have to follow your orders, right? Shouldn't we take Rosa home?" Guillaume's brows furrowed at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francois, who was silently pleading with him with his eyes not to humor the child. He cleared his throat. "Well, I'm sure it is up to your father since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see." "Yes, but I've got all that figured out. Ever since Sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. And I have to wash the dishes every time. Ugh. Papa's so busy, and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear Sister's old clothes, and we'll mind the house when both Sister and Father are away. She can wash dishes sometimes, and I'll wash them sometimes." Guillaume and Francois shared a look. "And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. Girls don't even eat that much. Not sure about boys." She thought for a bit. "But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too." That was awful. "But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too. One time I ate one." Let's go back. I just saw that I dropped some frames. Not too many though, but I'll still redo it. "But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too." No, I'm starting to lose it. One time, I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much. Maybe. Guillaume couldn't help but laugh. Francois rubbed his neck in embarrassment. No, I know that one for sure. Well, not about you, but about boys in general. I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust. Well, about that. Perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sire Parade. Sir Gilly is great. You truly are kind soul, sire. Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa? In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. Although I'm still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I'm not even sure. As long as it is consensual, sire. The details can be smoothed out later. The girl was quiet the whole time. You lucky son of a bitch, Spammy. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family, relatives, or friends you stay with? No, sire. My mother died a long time ago, but she guides me always. So, please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September. It's going to be really cold soon. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. But, Catherine... Francois sighed in surrender. All right. She can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there. Do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Guillaume cleared his throat. Yep, I'm going for the all good ending this time, Torfy, so I'm picking all good options. Which is interesting because I haven't seen some of them before, so I'm pretty excited. God, I haven't been 130 pounds since I was like... Since like 2010? Probably before that even. Probably like 2009, 2008. Yeah, that seems about more right. Let's see. That is sound advice, Sire Parade. Yes, Papa. I understand. Rosa, please make yourself comfortable in our home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Catherine turned to Guillaume again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, no one would freeze in the winter? You should make it into a law. They'll obey you because you're a marquis. And because you're tall. Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment. Well, you're taller than my papa, at least. He'll never be a marquis. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Guillaume shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Parade family. Emily watched him curiously. The same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a very lovely family, sire. I'm quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday. He chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I'm very invested in her. Guillaume knelt down, so he was eye to eye with Catherine. Big difference post 30. I can imagine. Let's see, I think post 20 for like anybody is about the same. Goes about the same way. He patted her head. You are a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. Oh, fuck. I I say this word? Shh. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Everyone calm down. Let me turn this on. Get the fan going. You guys get more background noise. French. Google Translate, please. I'm trying to do a thing here. Oh, I know how to do the E. Yeah, this one. Please pronounce it for me.
Étoile.
Étoile. Is it that one?
Étoile.
Étoile. Mon étoile. Hey, no spoilers, Sorby. No spoilers. Guillaume is a perfectly fine young man right now. Mon étoile. Oh, snap, I'm not on the screen. Pop back up. Someday, I know you will change the world. At least, I like to see you try. Mother. Help me. My chest. I can't breathe. No. Catherine! I can't scream. Everyone's, like, my father's asleep. I don't know what it was called. El Picturesque, something like that? Oh, man. It only gets better from here, Spammy. It's funny, is it not? They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they'll stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You were always so weak. Always so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. Which one is a nicer choice here? She was nothing but selfish, or she led you astray. He had eyes on a lot of people in that scene, Torfy. There were a lot of people he had his eyes on. She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. Which one is more mean? She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. Which one is nicer out of those two? I mean, they're both pretty not nice. Well, one of these has to be the nicer option. She led you astray? I feel like that one might be nicer than she was nothing but selfish. No, there's not really a pattern. It's all very, very gray. Because, I mean, in this case, they're not... One is not nice and the other one isn't nice. And even here, we've had them alternate from top to bottom. So you just have to go for it. That's why I played a mix of, You have the story sort of hard to keep to the good side. Oh man. You should imagine it for me who knows, like, the other parts of the story. The rest of the lore. Because we saw one of these characters go crazy. And we only saw bits and pieces of one of the creepy characters. You didn't get any of the creepy background of the other character. That character has like a whole other backstory. Which maybe we'll get in this run through. I think she led you astray might be nicer. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that one. Catherine was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. I knew she would just cause you pain. I was so worried about you, darling. She almost led you astray. Away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. I'm just glad to have you back, my... I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed out in her pain. She felt strong arms shake her awake. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Woo, here we go. Rosa. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. Alright, see ya, Torfy. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Have fun at work. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered. Her best friend was gone. She was gone. Thanks, Torfy. Rosa, how are you feeling? Guillaume sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realize she had been holding on to it tightly in her fitful sleep. Oh, you fucking wait for it, Spammy. This story, just fucking wait for it, man. Things get intense. Things get real, especially after this scene. It gets real intense. And it's just, it doesn't stop. It's like, you can't possibly, nope, you just did. Yep, you totally just did. Guillaume sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realize she had been holding on to it tightly in her fitful sleep. She broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa. She remained silent. I came to check on you. You went into shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine. There's a train passing by right now also, so apologies for that. How hard it must have been for you to see her. Like that. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register much of their meaning. Rosa still refused to speak, and Guillaume fidgeted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just wanted to let you know that she is being taken care of. Well, you'll see, Spammy. He's hiding something. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He's hiding something. There we go. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible. Don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. Mother, always the cynic, would say such things. I wish I could give you a genre for this, but I'm so awful at figuring out genres, or like verbalizing genres. I feel like I hurt myself. And it feels like I have like a splinter, but I know it's not a splinter. I haven't touched any wood today. But it's very distracting. Anyways, she hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness, to curl up inside the hole Catherine had left behind and sleep. My child, tell me you see it. Remember the fear in Catherine's eyes in her last days? Look at how he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. I feel like the first one is a little guilty, you know, like guilting her. Like, didn't you notice this? And I feel like the second one is more like now. Like, not blaming you for the past, but rather like looking at the now. Look at how unperturbed by Catherine's death. How he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. You know, we just have to roll with it. We gotta roll with the punches. They're doing fairly well with the translation for the most part. For how eloquently it's written. Or how weirdly it's written, I guess I should say. Look how he is. I think I'm gonna go with that one. There is an absence of feeling in him, don't you see? It goes beyond the usual apathy of loneliness. Did he even really love Catherine? How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I knew Catherine, Mother. He is a close friend. I didn't ask how long you've known him, but how well. Beyond the mask he displays in public view, do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot! He is different. He does not belong. You have felt it too. You felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Guillaume with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cask for all her regrets. Guillaume seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Guillaume and Catherine's relationship began to peter off into coldness right before she died. You know, I've picked both of them before. It's really hard to tell which one is the nice one, because she's very mean most of the time. It's just like, which is the less mean option, is how you have to think about it. I call it the nice run, but really it's the less mean option. You don't get to see like the nice options until the end. And even then they're a little mean. So, we just have to roll with the punches. And we get a little bit of backstory as to why. I don't know if we'll see it in this run, but there is backstory that we saw in the last run as to why that is. Guillaume and Catherine's relationship had begun to peter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture in their relationship. Perhaps Guillaume was tired of her and had killed her off for convenience? Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him? Rosa stared at the man beside her. He is not to be trusted, child. He is a demon. Guillaume returned Rosa's angry stare with a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I am aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up, a hard yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you, as much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Guillaume who fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to care for the sick woman himself. Lies. All lies. Keeping up appearances. Then, what is it that he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just gonna leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Guillaume's eyes. But as always, his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her. I am sure he did. And you're gonna let him get away with it. Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish. Just like your father. Stop. You throw people away. Didn't you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. No, stop it. She screamed back at the last voice. Her mouth quivered. Guillaume stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out aloud. It pulled a plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded and she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing. She did not even realize her face was wet. Guillaume and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears with his hand. He did not say anything while doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her how many tears a person could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you were feeling. She didn't know if it was her own or if Mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled up her fist so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. Shut up. She spat and the man recoiled at her uncharacteristic... We'll try that one again. She spat and the man recoiled at her uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. At the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Fuck. Every time. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her. I know it. She could feel mother inside her head building up her anger. He has to be punished. You are to blame. He has to atone. I know you are guilty. He must be punished. Guillaume stared at her dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped closer to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me! I hate you! Let go of me! Let me go. Fuck. I'll try it again. We'll do it again. Go back. No, back. I hate you! Let me go! But Guillaume didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate. But you must accept my comfort too. I need you too, right now, Rosa. You are the only one who loved her as much as I did. Guillaume's words brought back Catherine into Rosa's mind. Almost at once, the anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came, all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only right now, the loss and 2 friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought she wouldn't be able to stop, and Guillaume quietly held her. Slowly, her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rosa. I know you are thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I will take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Guillaume's mouth pursed and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please leave me. Guillaume sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. He turned on his heels and left without another word. Hours seemed like minutes to her. She would fall asleep and awaken in unfit intervals so often that she had lost the exact time. Awake, she would stare at a part of the wall with no coherent thoughts forming in her mind. One would think morning should be spent in a depressive frenzy. All the reasons to grieve are yours, after all. She can wail now, if she wanted. She could pull on her hair, curse the skies. She could reminisce the past, admire the frailty of human lives. Unfortunately, it was something less poetic. Pain was simple. It was clean. It was a well-sharpened knife that sliced through the heart in one stroke. No blood, no mess. Empty. When the tears were spent, there was just a hole where your heart had been. The hurt called out to you. It lingered. But since there was nothing there anymore, you couldn't find where the pain ended and you began. Rosa slept all day. The sun had gone down twice before she shifted from her bed. She stood up slowly, deliberately with a purpose. My child, you know I hurt when you hurt. Oh, fuck my life. I thought that said something else. I'm going to take another drink of water. It is seriously all ice now. There's nothing left in there. Whew. My child, you know I hurt when you're hurt. Already a surge of power flowed within her, fueled by her grief. The power filled her up and there was so much emptiness inside that the energy seemed to saturate her whole body. Purpose was always a balm for grief. Mother, tell me what to do. Fuck! Justice, retribution. Justice, retribution. Let me make sure I know the exact... That's not how you spell it. I know the exact definition of retribution before I decide. Yes, that's what I thought it was. Justice. Justice, I think, is a nicer choice here. Because, I mean, retribution, revenge, you know. I think I'm going to go with justice. I went with justice last time. I think retribution gave me, like, I think this is like a whole, this is an actual real, very real branch off. I think this gives you, I think you get like one other chance or two other chances to change your path. But I think justice is the good one and retribution is the bad one. Because I picked justice last time. I mean, the first time. And retribution the second time. Alright, we're going to go with justice, I think. Alright. I will see you later, Spammy. Have a good night. Start with his guilt, child. Then deliver punishment fitting for one so vile. He cannot get away with this. Rosa didn't speak. But she started to form words in her mind, feeling them in her bones, giving life to every thought. She took a small knife and carved a symbol on the floor. It didn't mean much. A guilt spell. It didn't aim to punish. It only aimed to inform. She needed to know how much guilt the man carried and the source of such guilt. If the guilt was concrete and came from a direct action, then she would know Guillaume did something to Catherine. It had been a while since she had used magic. It used to be the only way she could protect herself from the world. Alright, see you, Spams. Mother had taught her, and now, Mother guided her as she cast her spell. She needed a possession of the man. Rosa opted for his voice, still fresh from memory. She focused on the last conversation they shared. This is probably my last chapter I'm going to do today also. I'm about at the 2-hour mark, so... I probably have another 6 minutes before I finish. At most. If you need something to hate, I will take care of you. I need you. His words made Rosa feel distress and confusion. Always it was this way with him. The feeling wasn't foreign. It had been there for years. I will always be here for you. Rosa felt a violent force upturn her stomach. It was that horrid lurch just before vomiting. You failed. The spell collapsed in her brain. Focus, idiot child, or you'll lose your chance. Rosa tried again. This time she focused on Guillaume's eyes. Cold, like flints of steel, dark and fathomless. No grief except perhaps for the situation. No Catherine. No pain of loss. This didn't matter to her. The relationship was dying anyway. Where was his guilt? Rosa dug deeper. She'd increased the chanting on her lips. No torment. No uncertainty. No guilt. Did the spell fail again? She searched once more and found nothing. There was no guilt in Guillaume's eyes. She could stop the spell now, knowing that he was innocent. If the spell had worked, then Guillaume was blameless. But this absence was most distressing. Rosa desperately pushed her mind further, almost wishing there were traces hiding beyond her reach. Guilt should be present in any loss, no matter how little. Don't we blame ourselves for our own loss? Don't we hate ourselves and punish ourselves even if it wasn't our fault? It didn't have to be real, but we need guilt to feel pain. Good point, though. But Guillaume didn't have a sliver of guilt. The vicious pain took hold of her again, squeezing her stomach with murderous intent. The pain was so great, Rosa wasn't sure if the spell had failed or succeeded. Something is wrong. Before Rosa could agree with Mother, she felt a sharp pain in her throat. Rosa clutched at her neck, scraping and scratching. A sharp giant lump was blocking her breathing. She could feel its edges crawling up her windpipe, tearing at soft walls as it moved about. The pain didn't stop. Rosa fell to her knees and gagged. Huge drips of blood spotted spit rain. Huge drips of blood spotted. Huge drips of blood spotted spit rain. I don't even know if I fucked that one up that time. Huge drips of blood spotted spit ran down her chin. She had thrashed about like a woman being strangled. Mother remained calm, unaffected by Rosa's distress. Rosa was about to expel whatever it was. Tears ran down her face. The horrible acidic taste coated her tongue. Finally, she opened her mouth and forced the vile thing out. She kept her eyes shut, afraid to look at whatever had come out of her. But the choking feeling gripped her, and she puked again. The liquid dripping down her mouth thickened and congealed. It wasn't spit anymore, but blood. It gathered around her knees in a growing pool. Rosa panted. Every breath was laced with pain, but the gruesome effect had finally stopped. She wiped the sweat of her forehead. Something on the floor reflected light, but she struggled to comprehend what was in front of her. She reached out with her hand, and the prick of something sharp made her recoil. She tried again, this time seeing more clearly. Rosa picked them up with shaking hands. Needles. In her palms were a handful of long metal needles. She had regurgitated them along with blood and jagged pieces of flesh. Rosa examined them with a horrified kind of curiosity. She stuck one in her thumb and it drew more blood. They were real. They had materialized in her throat while casting the spell on Guillaume. Rosa wiped her mouth. There was something wrong with him. Something potent and dark. Or could it be that she had merely botched the spell horribly? She had pushed her limits this time. She had gone too far. But still, a tugging concern was forming. It was as real as the metal needles in her hand. Rosa tried to stand up on her feet, but she was exhausted. Her knees failed her and she crumpled onto the floor like a rag. I think this one's nicer. Are you quite all right, my darling? Now you see it too? There is a sinister force at work. Get up. We have a lot of work to do. We must find out what he is and stop him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Guillaume? And that is, I think, the end of the chapter. So we are going to save our game. What's our oldest save? Let's do it here. Yes. So we'll save it there. And let's go back to our main menu. Alright, so that was Cupid. A visual novel. I know this isn't a lot of people's cup of tea, especially thematically. It is getting a little dark, and it's only going to get darker, so I'm totally okay if this is not something you want to watch, but I'm very fascinated with this story. And I really desperately want to see every single ending, so... but that's it for tonight. I was going to do some FTL, but I really wasn't feeling it tonight. Sorry about that. But we finished Super Meat Boy in the first 30 minutes, so that was cool. And we did this for the next hour and a half. This will probably be something I stream... I might do it tomorrow, actually. I might do it tomorrow. We'll see. I have a D&D game, and that one runs pretty late. I might do it tomorrow. I'll think about it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, who knows? There's supposed to be a tropical storm dropping on my face, apparently, in the next few days, so who knows? Maybe it's tomorrow. But for sure, if there's not a tropical storm that kills us all, and more importantly, kills the internet / power... I will be streaming this weekend around the same time. Yeah, I don't think any of my plans interfere with any of my streaming schedule. They're all pretty early in the day, which is why I stream late. So if you're interested in Super Meat Boy and that's your jam, watch out on... I think Friday, Saturday is when I'm going to be doing those two. If you're interested in FTL, I'll probably do that on Sunday. I'll probably do this on Thursday and any like just this. Oh, there's a train now. I'll finish this up. So yeah, I'll probably do Cupid. I'll have to do it like at the prime time hour because it is a little bit dark. So I'll probably do it late when I'm like tired of playing another game or I just don't feel like playing something else. We haven't reached the branching place of this guy, so we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to be nice to each other. Don't forget to be compassionate. And I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully there won't be a helicopter flying or a very loud train. Alright guys, see you guys later. Bye.